Hey, welcome to Kids Art Clubhouse. We're so excited to have you today. So we're going to draw an apple today. Hopefully it turns out good, but what we'd like you to do is if you like what we do, please subscribe and click the little notification button so that you're able to watch our new videos as they come out. I've got my Sharpie and I've got my pen and we're ready to go, but make sure you watch to the very end because we usually try to do something creative to make our project exciting. So let's see where that goes. All right, here we go. So really, I mean, the apple shapes are pretty similar to each other. I mean, you could draw apple slices and things like that, but we're just gonna do a basic apple. And an apple has kind of like a heart shape. But it's oftentimes kind of has a little indent on the bottom instead of going down into a point. And then the top kind of bulges out, kind of like a heart does. And then you usually have a little bit of an overlapping that shows that it kind of shows some depth is more or less what it does. And then we're going to draw a little stem on it. Now you could draw a little stem that just kind of squares off, but oftentimes it has like a little bit of a, like there's a little notch where it connects to the tree. And so you can add actually just a little extra line onto that and it'll give that a little bit of a look as well. And then oftentimes there's a leaf associated with it. There you go. We have an apple. That was pretty simple. How can we make this apple creative though? And I was thinking about it and I thought, you know what's always fun? I could do that too. So I just had another idea too. We could have a little hole here. And we could obviously have Mr. Wormy. And because we got a line in our apple, because of how we drew it, we're gonna just kind of give him some little lines on it. But that's not where I was originally gonna go with this. So our apple now has a worm in it too. But what I wanted to draw is to come out here like this. See, you can kind of tell where I'm going to go with this. You know, like always with our art doesn't necessarily need to be perfect. Really what matters is your interpretation of the art. And obviously your ability to make it look somewhat like what you're trying to do. What you're trying to draw helps. So there we go. We have an arrow through our apple. Yes, that's fun. Add a little shading there. Little shading there. Maybe even a little here where he is. Typically on an apple you might kind of add like a little highlight area or maybe a light shining on it or something like that. You could even draw some little pattern on the leaf that gives the leaf more of a leaf look. But here's where I wanted to go with this. So an apple You ever seen those like circus acts and things? I guess in the old days they probably would have been like a circus act. Where the person puts the apple on their head. Nowadays you'd see it on America's Got Talent, where you'd end up seeing it. Apple sitting on their head. An eyeball's kind of funny because you can put the little highlight on it, because oftentimes there's going to be a little glare of some sort, but you can also, if you wanted to make it look even a little bit more like an eye, usually add some lines around it like this, make it look even a little bit more like an eye. I'm going to put a couple eyebrows on him. Put them off to the side here that make him look like maybe he's a little bit worried. Maybe a drop of sweat coming off of his forehead here. And the little shadow where the apple is sitting on his head. Ta-dang! Oh, even if we wanted, we could even draw like a target over here. You notice on this target, I'm going narrow on the sides and long on the height, part because if it was at an angle, it's going to still go tall, but the width is going to narrow in the taller that it gets, because I'm assuming that whoever shot the arrow was probably aiming at a target as well, because they always have the person stand by a box or something. Now, if I had it shoot forward, obviously the angle of everything would be different. The target would be right behind his head, but add a little hair to his head too. Maybe he's bald in the center. Anyways, there we go. Kind of a fun little picture. Our apple ended up with a worm and an arrow being shot through it at a target sitting on some dude's head who's sweating bullets. I don't know. The eyebrows don't really work, I don't think. Maybe the eyebrows should have been sitting up here a little higher off the head as kind of a cartoon eyebrow. I don't know. Anyhow, but either way, there's our picture, and we appreciate you guys coming and watching. And if you like what we drew and you like our project, I'd love to have you subscribe and watch our other videos. Click the little notification bell. You'll be told when we've got new things that we're drawing and posting. And come again.